Hello, everybody. Welcome to the banks of the Hocking River, beautiful Athens, Ohio, for this midweek out-of-conference matchup between the Ohio Bobcats and their rivals, the Marshall Thundering Herd. Tonight should be an interesting one. We've got a beautiful day here at Bob Wren Stadium. Absolutely gorgeous backdrop, as you can see, with the dorms behind you. Clear skies, not a worry out there of this weather. A crisp spring April day here in Athens. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the broadcast. You'll be joining myself, Cade Williamson, and to my left, Darius Sethna today. Darius, how are we feeling today?
Thanks so much for having me, Cade. Great to be here. Great crowd on a Wednesday night here in Athens. Perfect baseball weather as well. So I'm really looking forward to this game. We should have two teams who are going to be high-powered on offense. Ohio looking to take care of business after a great road trip in Toledo. I'm excited for this one. Should be fun.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game here. As mentioned, they're taking on the Marshall Thundering Herd coming into this ball game. Both these teams, when you look at their records overall, they're very similar with their records. When you look at the Bobcats, they come into this one 13-15 today, while Marshall comes into this one at 13-16. So they played very similar amounts of games. The Bobcats, more of a home-standing team, 6-4 in the season when playing here at Bob Wren, while Marshall, when it comes to being on the road this year, true road games, they're 5-6 this year with their overall record. But some notables to hint on here at the beginning of this ball game. For the Bobcats, obviously, the transfer this year, Alec Patino, he's been a great guy hitting offensively for the Bobcats this year. Got that average at .343. That's what you want to see. He's got the slugging percentage above the 600 mark, which is wonderful there at 6'11", as well as an above 400 OBP. I mean, when you look at this kid and you look at that, that's an OPS above 1,000 right there. You know, that's an amazing hitter right there for Patino. So he's definitely going to be a guy to keep your eye on today if you're a Bobcat fan.
And also Patino, over the weekend, 4 runs scored against Toledo in Ohio's 3-0 sweep against the Rockets on the road. So it's also he's 4th for the Bobcats in total runs scored with 24. Second in total home runs is Patino, already with 6 on the season. So I expect him to carry that into tonight and have another excellent game.
That is definitely true there, Darius. And when you turn it over and we really look at Marshall now, a guy offensively that you'd like to highlight coming into this one is Daryl Carinci, who comes into this one hitting .323 on the season, a .444 slugging percentage, .417 OBP. He's got that OPS above that 800 mark. That's what you want to see if you're a coach. He can slug a little bit here or there. He's got 2 home runs on the season, got a triple to his credit, as well as 9 RBI. So he's a solid guy offensively there for the Thundering Herd. And an interesting statistic that we're going to go into today is that the starting pitcher out there for the Marshall Thundering Herd coming into this one today, as we talked, it's Chad Heiner who comes into this one. He's making his 12th appearance on the season, his 4th start. But last year, he got the start when it came against the Bobcats. So it seems to be a recurring theme there for the Thundering Herd of Marshall is to throw out Heiner there when facing the Bobcats.
Yeah, I think when Marshall made the trip up to Athens today, they said, Chad, get your hat ready, get your glove ready. We've got a game for you. Because last year, Cade, Marshall came here to OU. Chad Heiner, as you said, started at the pitching role played in 5 innings, and he finished with 3 strikeouts, and that helped Marshall get a 10-3 win against the Bobcats. The Bobcats, too, how about this? A 2-8 record in their last 10 games against Marshall. The Thundering Herd have definitely had the upper hand in this series. Let's see if the Bobcats can bounce back in this one. Should be fun.
That is definitely true there, Darius. A little midweek action, as we mentioned, a little rivalry matchup between these two teams. They typically play about 2 games a season when it comes to out-of-conference games. One usually here at Bob Wren, one down there in Huntington, or actually for the Thundering Herd, it might be in Charleston. Something interesting there for Marshall is that they're splitting time for where they play their home games. I know right now they're building a new facility down there, a new baseball field there that's going to be looking beautiful in Huntington, but they currently have been splitting time between the YMCA facility there in Huntington. They play a couple games at Go-Mart Field down in Charleston, so that used to be Appalachian Power Plant Field down there. So, I mean, you're splitting time there. You don't really have a true home place. You spend a lot of time on the road. And something interesting for Marshall is their first-year head coach this year, Greg Beals. I don't know if you know this, Darius, but last year Beals was the head man for the Ohio State Buckeyes, just a little bit north of 33
the
here.
Ohio State
yeah,
Buckeyes.
that is true there. Beals was the man of the Buckeyes headed them last year. In the offseason, he was let go by the Buckeyes. He ended up signing a contract with the Akron Zips, and then he saw the opening with Marshall in the offseason after signing that contract with Akron, decided to resign, and then signed with Marshall. So a lot of movement, but in a very similar area over the past 12 months for head coach Beals there for the Marshall Thundering Herd. Both of these teams, both coaches actually rather, having a little bit of meeting at home plate. We're just about ready to start this one. As mentioned, it's a very wonderful day. Looking out here, very picturesque in Athens as the trees are starting to be in bloom here. Good old weather, 74 degrees, sunny. The wind currently is blowing a little bit out to right field, as you can see in the flagpole there at the top right of your screen. It's supposed to be a 6 o'clock first pitch here from Bob Wren. We've hinted about about Marshall's head coach, Greg Beals, in his first season. So now we'll talk about the Bobcats a little bit. Craig Moore in his third season for the Bobcats. He was an assistant here a little bit before. He got his feet wet a little bit with the Bobcats, took over the job. Last year they were in the MAC tournament, finished fourth in the regular season for the MAC, went up to the tournament. Unfortunately, it did not go very deep in the tournament, but when you're facing some good programs like Ball State, Toledo, and Central Michigan, it's very tough. So when you go into that situation, you're going to that MAC tournament, you get into that situation where it's, if you're able to compete, and you're able to get that offense to what it was last year, hey, you're in a good situation if you're the Bobcats.
And I think a quick note, too, with Craig Moore is that when he has new players come into this program, they always improve. You look at Alec Patino, Colin Casper-Bauer, so that's going to be a big positive for the Bobcats as well.
We'll take a step away here quickly for the national anthems. We'll be back with the starting lineups as you're listening to Ohio Bobcats Baseball.
Thanks, Sam.
Welcome back here at Bob Wren Stadium in Athens, Ohio, on the banks of the Hocking River. We are just about ready to start off this afternoon, or this evening's rather, ball game here between the Bobcats of Ohio and the Thunder and Herd of Marshall. We'll go quickly over your starting lineups here. First, for the visiting Marshall Thundering Herd, from 1 to 9, here they go. Hitting at the top of the order, leading things off will be number 2, Luke Edwards, playing center field. Batting second will be number 44, Owen Ayers, the designated hitter. Batting third will be number 3, Daniel Carency, playing first base today. Batting fourth, hitting cleanup will be number 34, Kyle Schaefer, the left fielder. Batting fifth, number 24, Gio Ferraro, playing the shortstop position today. Batting sixth, number 4, Christian Lucio, playing second base. Behind the dish for Marshall, batting seventh, number 20, Chris Noble will be catching today. Batting eighth, number 55. Playing the hot corner third base will be KB Peralta. And then rounding things out for the Thundering Herd will be number 31, Elijah Vogelsong, hitting ninth and playing right field today. Now for the Bobcats, we'll go over them defensively around the horn. We'll start in the outfield. In left field, you will have number 8, Cole Williams. Center field, number 7, A.J. Roush. In right field, number 26, Will Sturrick. Around the horn of the infield, number 2, Colin Casper-Bauer. Playing the hot corner at shortstop, number 1, Nick Dolan. At second base, number 5, Alec Patino. First base, number 9, Harrison Johnson. And behind the dish will be number 15, Alex Finney, giving Mason Minzy a rest, at least defensively today. He will have the stick swinging it up at the plate. And up on the bump tonight for the Bobcats will be number 27, Colin Sells, out of Lancaster, Ohio. Not too far away from here, just about 45 minutes up north of 33 is Sells. Graduated from Bloom Carroll, did he, and Sells comes into this one. Not exactly the typical starter that you like to see for the Bobcats, but hey, it is a midweek action. You like to get those arms. You don't want to get too deep in that bullpen, but Sells is making his 7th appearance on the season, his second start. He has a 6.48 ERA, a 1.0 win-loss record, in a total of 8.1 innings. He's given up 9 hits, 6 runs, all of those being earned 8 walks, 10 strikeouts, and has a batting average against of .273. Just about ready to kick things off here from the Wren are the Bobcats and the Thunder and Herd. The first pitch, the wind, and we are off and underway as that one spiked into the turf. It would be a ball there for Sells on the way to Edwards. And Sells, as mentioned, 8 walks so far this season to 10 strikeouts. Not the best strikeout to walk ratio, but still out there a solid pitcher. Now more of a veteran for the Bobcats as Edwards is swinging on the second pitch, fouls that one off into the turf, and we're knotted up at a 1-1 count.
And you know what's great about these type of games, Cade, these non-conference games during the week, it gives a chance for players like Sells to really prove themselves, and even if they do make a mistake, it's not as costly, especially when you head down the stretch in the season.
As that was a fantastic pitch there right on the inside corner. Got him at the knees, did Sells. Quickly up in the count now, 1-2, trying to get his first strikeout of the afternoon. The wind from Sells, that one just a little too low to Edwards. He spits on that one now. Knotted up at 2s goes the count. Sells likes to work quickly on the mound. Not much at taking his time. You see that a lot more in baseball recently. Sells the 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. Sells quickly sits him down, swinging first out of the ball game.
Couldn't ask for a better start if you're Connor Sells. Great momentum booster and great confidence booster. Craig Moore's got to feel good right now with that choice at first pitch.
As now coming up will be the designated hitter, Owen Ayers. Sitting in the 2-hole today, comes into this one hitting .272 on the season for Marshall. He's free swinging on the first pitch, sends that one out to Williams in left field, who camps up under it easily, puts that one away, and retires Ayers quickly for out number 2. 2 quick outs up on the mound for Sells. As mentioned, he is a bit of a veteran for the Bobcats. Is Sells now a graduate student here at Ohio University. Interesting to note, though, he swings left-handed, hits right. Not that you'll be seeing him swing, but still, something interesting to note is a great off-speed pitch there. Got a little break on it in there at the knees for strike 1 to Daniel Carinci, who was hitting third and playing first base today for Marshall. Carinci leading the team in average. He's swinging on the second pitch. That one's fouled off, and he's quickly into an 0-2 hole. Sells looking to set another one down on strikes here. Trying to work quickly here through the first inning of work of this one. Sells gets the signs from Finney. The 0-2 on the way. That one's put into play right at the middle. Diving play past the glove of Dolan. It's into center field, and that will be the first hit for the Thundering Herd, as with an 0-2 count, he was behind, but right there goes Carinci trying to show, hey, to the Bobcats, that's the reason why I lead this team in average.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Carinci, .32 batting average, and I think that's a little bit of a wake-up there for Marshall. 2 batters strike out right away. Carinci kind of calms things down a little bit here.
As now Kyle Schaefer will come up, hitting cleanup today from the left side. First pitch to him just off the plate outside for a ball rather from Sells. So now he's got to work out of the stretch, checking the man over there at first base, Carinci. He's only 1 for 1 in the season with stolen bases, so not exactly a speed demon out there. Sells second pitch, looks to be painting the black there. Right on the outside, that one finds the zone, knotted up at 1-1s now. The count goes. Sells trying to work outside now to the left-handed hitting Schaefer. 2 down here, runner on first base. Bobcats into a bit of a shift here. That one's put into play over to second base, fielded easy, and flipped on to first base, as that will be almost a 1-2-3. Got the base hit there, but the Bobcats get out of it. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Bobcats get out of it, so you're still listening to Ohio Bobcats baseball. Welcome back here to Bob Wrenn Stadium. About ready to start the bottom half of the first. We're getting into it quickly, so we'll try to go over the really pitching to batter matchup here, and then we'll get to your starting lineups, both defensively for Marshall and offensively for the Bobcats. As up there, as we mentioned in the pregame, up on the mound for Marshall is Chad Heiner, and he will be facing, leading off, is A.J. Roush, who spits on one low and away in the dirt. 1-0 count it goes. As we mentioned, Heiner on the season for Marshall, 7.08 ERA, a 1-1 win-loss record is that one, right on the black in there for a strike. He evens up the count at once. This is his 12th appearance on the season, his 4th start, and 20 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 21 hits, 18 runs, 16 of those being earned, as that one free swinging was Roush on that one. Try to get a little bit of power into it. Instead, a little bit out of his shoes there. Instead, now he's down on the count 1-2. The 1-2 from Heiner. That one's low into the turf. Spin on by Roush. Evens up the count at 2s, but back to the stats for Heiner so far in the season. 7 walks allowed, 15 strikeouts, and has a batting average against of .269. 2-2 pitch on its way here from Heiner. That one runs inside. Almost caught a little bit of Roush right there, but he sees it right into the mitt of the backstop for the Thundering Herd. Chris Noble there. So now the payoff pitch from Heiner. Swung on, popped right into the air. It's in the infield. Coming in on it is the first baseman. Camping up under that one easy is Daniel Carinci. And he puts that one away and sits down A.J. Roush for out number 1 in the first inning. So now we'll have some time. We'll first start off with the defensive lineup here for the Marshall Thundering Herd from left to right in the outfield. Number 34 playing left field, Kyle Schaefer. In center field, number 2, Luke Edwards. And right field, number 31, Elijah Vogelsong. At third base, number 55, KB Peralta. As the first pitch here to the number 2 hole hitting Alec Patino finds the zone on the outside for a strike to the Bobcats. Playing shortstop, number 22, Gio Ferrero. Number 4, Christian Lucio is playing second base, though, 1 on its way. That one's just upstairs a little high, says the home plate umpire. Count now evened up at 1s with 1 down. At first base, as we just mentioned, number 3, Daryl Carinci. And behind the plate, Chris Noble, and up on the mound, as we've talked about, is Chad Heiner, as that one to the 2-hole, hitting Alec Patino low and away for a ball. 2-1 the count will go with one down here in the bottom of the first inning.
I think, too, with Chad Heiner, 7.08 ERA. So I think the main goal for the Bobcats here is just get guys on bases, because if Heiner makes a mistake, you can pounce on it.
That one chopped over to the first baseman easy as Carinci retires that one, takes it himself for the ground out there from Patino. So 2 quick outs for the first baseman, Carinci, keeping him busy over there on the right side of the infield. But now that we've got time, we'll talk about the Bobcats lineup. You saw the first 2. Leading off was A.J. Roush, batting second, Alec Patino. Now third due up, number 10, Mason Minzy, the designated hitter. Behind him, hitting cleanup will be Sturek, as the first pitch here to Minzy just low. Try to find the outside part of the plate. No good there for Heiner. Hitting fifth for the Bobcats will be Colin Kasperbauer. Sixth will be Cole Williams. Seventh, Alex Finney, as the 1-0 is on its way from Heiner. That one swung on and put into the right center field gap. That'll get down for a base hit there, as the third 3 holes really having some good luck today so far, as both starts for both of these teams. The 1 and 2 holes really struggled offensively, got things going, but the 3 holes have been able to find the green for some base hits there, as Minzy finds the outfield grass for a single there, which will bring up Will Sturek, and now we'll finally get back and finishing the lineup for the Bobcats. Is hitting in the 8-hole is Harrison Johnson, and hitting in the 9-hole, rounding things out, Nick Dolan. So that brings up now Will Sturek hitting cleanup today. Minzy over on first base, 2 down here for Heiner. Free swinging on the first one was Sturek. He fouls that one back over the netting here behind home plate. 0-1 the count will go.
And speaking of Minzy, with that last play, this is a guy who leads the team in runs scored. So is this a player who you always feel good about putting on the plate when you need a big-time play?
The 0-1, just a little too much break on that breaking ball there from Heiner. Right out of the zone, so 1-1 the count will even up. Minzy, not exactly the fastest guy over there at first base. Has not recorded a stolen base so far this season. Sturek, though, has a little bit of pop in his bat, and he shows it right there. Lines that one in the center field, might get down. No, but coming in on it and making a great defensive play, read that one right into the sun, came Luke Edwards, and he will sit down the Bobcats. We'll head to the second inning, still knotted up at 0s. You're still listening to Ohio Bobcats baseball. Welcome back here to the campus of Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. Just about ready to start the second inning here between the Bobcats and the Thundering Herd of Marshall. No runs came around in the first inning. Now Thundering Herd heading to the plate for the second time in this ball game. Leading off this inning will be the 5-hole hitting Gio Ferraro, playing shortstop in the afternoon. First pitch he sees is low for a ball. Second one from Sells, once again low and away. Sells quickly behind here. As mentioned, he likes to use that pace to his advantage. See that a lot more now in both college baseball. You got to prepare. You've seen it in the majors with the ideas of the pitch clock. It's starting to be implemented at the lower levels now, as that one sent screaming right back up the middle for a base hit, as Ferraro shot that one right where it came from, 2-0 swinging. perfect hitter's count there, and he will lead off the second with a base hit there for the Thunder and Herd.
That's perfect placement by Ferraro as well. Right in the middle where that outfielder for Ohio wasn't able to get to it in time to catch it, and you still get to first base and play it safe.
Sent that one right where it came, as now you see a little bit of adjustment defensively here, is playing in on almost where the grass is here on the turf. The grass and the dirt mix is Colin Kasperbauer, so possible bunt situation for the 6-hole hitting Christian Lucio. First pitch to him, right down the gut in there for a strike to Lucio as he gets the signs from the dugout here. It is a bunt situation. Middle infielders playing it up the middle, double play depth here. Or on first. That pitch put into play. A little early on that one, fouled down the first base line, and quickly into a hole is a Lucio, the second baseman here who comes into this ball game for Marshall. So far on the season, hitting 182 in 24 games, as this will now make it his 25th, started in each of those. The 0-2. Outside there from Sells, tried to maybe be a little bit of a pitch out there, try to draw the runner over there on first baseman, get him on his toes a little bit in Ferraro. Instead, it's outside, so now the count goes to 1-2. Ferraro so far on the season has yet to record a stolen base, so not exactly the speediest guy over there at first. That one's put into play, quick on it once again, down the first base line, fouled and out of play. It'll go for Lucio, so he's battling up there, trying to see a pitch possibly get into play. This is where you're in a situation where you got to protect up there in this situation. You don't want to hit one into a double play here if you're Lucio. Sells taking his time. Attempts a pickoff to no avail. Getting back in quickly is Ferraro at first base.
Thing about you said about Ferraro, too, might not be the fastest, but he can hit it. .31 batting average, 32 hits already on the season.
Once again, the 1-2 set here from Sells. Delivers right on the outside corner. He'll sit him down, throw him a chair there. That's a great location there for Colin Sells to Lucio. Sits him on the bench for out number 1 here in the top of the second inning. So that'll bring up the 7-hole Chris Noble, who's playing a little bit of backstop today for the Thunder and Herd. Noble so far on the season, hitting .271. This is now his 15th game played, 13th game started on the season for Marshall. Another pickoff attempt over there from Sells at first base as the Bobcats try to adjust defensively once again. As it looked like before the pitch there, Kasperbauer was playing a bit more in. Now he backs off of the third base at the hot corner over there, almost even with the bag. First pitch, big swing and a miss there. Took something off there, did Sells, and rightfully so to Noble, as he put that one right in the turf. Good job from Finney to keep it in front of him. Keep that runner over there at first base at bay. Sells, he's worked around the knees so far this game. That's where he wants to be here for a possible double play ball. He'll take his time once again, delivers that one at the knees, a delayed steal. Got the Bobcats napping right there, as taking his time over there at first baseman was Ferraro, but that's a way to do it, get your first stolen base of the season, so he'll move up to second base with a stolen base and a no-throw there from Finney.
Cade, you spoke too soon, man.
Yeah, I guess that's the anti-announcer's jinx right there. Get the guy his stolen base on the season. So now a runner into scoring position. Even 1-1 count, one down here for Noble. That one's just inside, so Sells now behind in the count, 2-1 here to Noble. This is a situation where you got to give him something to hit, but you don't want to leave it over the center of the plate here. As mentioned, runner out there on second base, that's Ferraro. Noble at the plate, that one low and away from Sells. Kept those first two balls close to the zone. That one got away from him a bit, so now he's into a bit of a hole, has to work back in. 3-1 the count is with one down here in the top of the second inning. Sells taking his time once again. Comes set of the belt. The delivery. That one catches the outside part of the zone. Noble thought it might have been a little too far out there. Has a conversation with the home plate umpire now. As the count now runs full, and we'll have a payoff pitch due up here in the second inning. One down, Ferraro out there at second base. The payoff pitch from Sells. Swung on, lofted into shallow center field. That one will get in the green, and that one will likely bring in Ferraro, who's lounging third base and will be coming in, standing up easily as the Thunder and Herd strike first in this ball game, thanks to that RBI single there from Chris Noble. As you got to credit the stolen base there from Ferraro to get himself in a scoring position.
Yeah, Gio Ferraro, like we said, first stolen base of the season, doing things that he normally doesn't do, especially in a game like this. You need a win. You're coming off a tough loss, couple of losses last weekend, and Gio Ferraro really getting the party started here. And how about that hit that he had to get himself on base as well? That was something special.
Yes, it was. Tough in on the handle. He got those hips around quickly as now KB Peralta, the third baseman, settle into the box. The first pitch to him outside from Sells. Something interesting to note is Marshall got 3 switch hitters in their lineup today. Ayers is a switch hitter, as well as Noble and Peralta, so it works out well for them hitting against the righty today as Sells. As you get the match advantage regardless if you're a switch hitter, as Sells leaves that one low and is once again in a hitter-friendly count to the third baseman Peralta. Sells the 2-0. That one catches the outside part of the zone. Perfect placement there from Sells to get himself back into the count. We'll try to find the zone once again here to the open stance to Peralta. 2-1 delivery from Sells. Swung on. That one will find its way into right field. Another single for the Thunder and Herd. Going station to station right now in this inning. Go Marshall. Just singles left and right, left and right. Sometimes that's all you got to do. Find some green, and it'll help you out easily there for the Thunder and Herd. Noble moves up to second base on that single from KB Peralta. So now the 9-hole hitting Elijah Vogelsong will dig into the box for Marshall. Vogelsong so far on the season, 161 hitter. This is his 16th appearance, 16th game played rather, in the season for Marshall. As he's got 2 ducks on the pond out there. First pitch to him, a slider that finds, a little back foot slider there from Sells that finds its home on the inside part of the plate. Strike number 1 for Sells, and that's a little bit of a confidence booster right there to get ahead in the count early for the starter of the Bobcats. 1 down here for Sells. That one gets away from him too much. He knew it as soon as he released it. Way outside, had to make Finney work a little bit there, but the backstop keeps it in front. Evens at the count of 1s. As mentioned, Vogelsong so far on the season, hitting under that Mendoza line, 161 in the season, but can help out the Thunder and Herd in this situation. Another pitch, runs high from Sells, and he went calm through that first inning, found the zone, had command. The second inning, it's got away from him a little bit too much. But he'll try to dial it back in here. 1 run is nothing to scoff at. Still early in the ballgame. That pitch outside from Sells, and the count now runs to 3-1.
There's a couple times now that Sells' counts have gone to 3-1, so I think at the end of the day, it's just getting back to that placement. Focus on that a little bit more for Sells.
3-1 count here for Sells as he'll step off. Doesn't like the sign, will regain his focus here as the Bobcats start to get a man up and moving in the bullpen. Still no throwing, but a little bit of stretching out there as we saw one of the catchers run out to the bullpen middle of this at-bat. 3-1 pitch due up here from Sells. That one swung on, chopped out to second base. 4, 6, no, it will not. It'll find a home into the outfield. An errant throw there from Patino at second base. We'll see how they score that one. But another run will come in to score there as, yes, they'll mark that one an error. An errant throw there on Alec Patino. And that'll bring in another run for the Thunder and Herd. It looked like a tailor-made double play ball there for Patino. Tried to get ahead of myself with a 4-6-3 double play, but instead we'll have runners at the corners here with 1 down. Marshall up 2-0 can easily extend the lead here with the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, it's a costly mistake by Patino. You could have, honestly, it might have been the better decision just to play it safe and get that out at first and get 1 more out on the board, but try to go for that double play, a little bit risky, and risk didn't pay off there in that instance.
He had the time. He tried to maybe go a little bit too quickly there with what would have been, I believe it's Peralta. Yes, Peralta was over at first base in that situation. So you want to maybe get that double play, get ahead of yourself in that situation, but not a terrible decision there from Patino just maybe off the back foot, a little bit of a tougher throw as it found its home into the outfield just past the outstretched glove of Dolan. Regardless, runners at the corners now, one down, top of the order. Due up here for the Thunder and Herd as the first pitch from Sells does not find the zone, and he is down in the count once again, 1-0, with one down here in the top of the second inning where the Thunder and Herd have plated two, thanks to an error from Patino as well as a single from Peralta. Or correction, Noble. Noble was the one who drove in the run, but Peralta did keep the inning alive with his single of his own. Now he's standing 90 feet away as the second pitch from Sells was low for a ball once again. 2-0 the count, very hitter-friendly for the leadoff man Edwards, and that one's low and in once again. 3-0 the count for Sells, who was just trying to roll that double play ball. He's had a lot of ground balls in the very minimal time so far in this ball game, but in a very big situation here. The 3-0 free swing, and that one gets past the outstretched glove of Casper Bauer and finds its home into left field. Another RBI single for the Thunder and Herd, and Marshall is rolling here in this second inning. 3 runs on the board so far in this one on 4 hits as well as an error, so a very prominent inning for Marshall.
We've seen a few costly fielding errors here by the Bobcats in this second inning. I think we might possibly, Kate, I don't know, could we see a pitching change here?
There doesn't seem to be enough time. I think this is more just a stall rather than to get the man who's, now we've got a righty working down in the bullpen. Not exactly the best advantage to see who it is working in the bullpen for the Bobcats, but we've got a righty working down there for Ohio right now. So I think this is just kind of, hey, Sells, you know, you're in it, you've given up a couple runs here and there. Let's dial it back in. You know, we were just close away to getting out of the inning. Let's not let this one get away from us. Let's calm back down, get those nerves under. Let's roll us a double play ball right here and let's get out of this inning. Nice and easy. We'll let the bats do the talking, and we'll get right back at it in the bottom of the second inning. So I think it is a conversation that the Bobcats are going to have it right now, as the pitching coach is out there for Tim Brown for the Bobcats. Now we'll hustle back into the dugout. So we'll set the scene here. 3-0 the score. The Thundering Herd up on the Bobcats. Runners on first and second here, which will bring up the 2-hole switch hitting designated hitter Owen Ayers, who lined out to left field. Williams out there in his first plate appearance, close to the track, I might add. First pitch from Sells finds the zone on the outside for a strike to Ayers. So Sells now settled down maybe a bit after that meeting at the mound. Tries to dial back in here. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on. Swing and a miss there. Solid pitch on the inside from Sells. Almost seemed to be a back foot slider there to Ayers, and he is quickly up in the count. 0-2 is the pitcher, Sells. First time we've seen him really ahead of a count since he struck out Lucio Looking. The 0-2, that one's in the turf, kept in front well by Finney. Try to get a swing and a miss there, did Sells, but Ayers thought not. So he will stay alive in the box with a 1-2 pitch due up here. Bobcats, their black uniforms, jerseys with the green lettering, green hats. As that one swung on, put a charge on that one, did center field. Back goes the center fielder. It's off the wall, and that'll bring in a run. Roush tries to get it in quickly. Another one rounding third base. No, actually, correction, that was the only run there, as coming in to score there from a slide is both the runners on first and second. Vogelsong and Edwards didn't know if that ball was going to get down, but it hit off the wall there. A great piece of hitting, as that'll be an RBI double there for Owen Ayers to bring in a run for Marshall and increase the lead now 4-0.
And Owen Ayers, 23 runs scored this season, second on the Thundering Herd in that category. If you throw him that perfect ball, he will make you pay, Cade.
And that he did right there. So now we'll go to the 3-hole. Daniel Carinci will come to the plate now. He has a chance to drive in 2 more runs in what has been a powerful second inning for Marshall. And Sells started to giving up a couple hits here and there. Couple singles, or handful of singles rather, and that double right there. As the first pitch here, that one swung on. Deep drive to left field. Touch them all. Give it away. Derek Carinci got a hold of that one just off the bat. See you later. As it finds a home in the parking lot out there in left field. Daniel Carinci, a 3-run shot for Marshall right there to increase their lead to 7-0, as that's Carinci's 3rd home run on the season. Not a guy with too much power, but definitely showed it off right there, as we're going to get another meeting at the mound, and that will likely end the day for Colin Sells.
This has just been a batting masterclass by the Marshall Thundering Herd. Seven runs already in 1 inning. You can't ask for anything better than that, quite honestly, especially on the road as well in hostile territory. They've honestly shown why they've had the upper hand in this series for the last 5 or so years.
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned, having the upper hand. So that'll be the end of the day for Sells. We'll take a little bit of a break here, get you the final numbers on Sells, and get you who's coming out of the bullpen for the Bobcats. 7-0 the score. Thundering Herd ahead of the Bobcats, still in the top of the second. Marshall has batted around here in the second inning, plated 7 runs so far in this one. Still 1 down as the Bobcats make an adjustment, go to the bullpen. As Tyler Peck will come to the mound, and a swing and a miss there to the 4-hole, hitting Kyle Schaefer. Gets a strike to start off his appearances. Peck, a sophomore right-handed pitcher, stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, 215, as he'll get a foul tip right into the mitt of Finney, and he is quickly up into the count on this one. Peck making his now 10th appearance of the season as a 5.87 ERA and 15 1/3 innings pitched. The 0-2, that one's low and away there to Schaefer. And continuing on the season, 21 hits given up by Peck, 13 runs, 10 of those being earned, 5 walks, 12 strikeouts, and has a batting average against of 339 as that one's chopped toward the first base line. Off of the glove of Johnson over there at first base, wasn't able to handle it, and quickly getting to second base upstanding will be Kyle Schaefer. We'll see how they will score that one. I believe, yes, it's going to be a double there for Schaefer. So the barrage continues here in this second inning for the Thundering Herd. As we mentioned, they batted it around. This will be the second at-bat of the inning for Gio Ferraro, who reached on a single, stole a bag, got himself in a scoring position, and was the first one to come around for the Thundering Herd to really start off this very momentous second inning.
Yeah, the last player you want to see there on the at-home plate is Gio Ferraro if you're Craig Moore.
Second plate appearance of the day for Ferraro. First pitch from Peck, that one's low and away for a ball. So out on second with a very aggressive lead was Kyle Schaefer. Final numbers on the day for Colin Sells. One in the third innings pitch, 7 hits given up, 7 runs, 6 of those being earned, 2 strikeouts. As the pitch there, the 1-0 pitch on the inside for a ball once again from Peck to there to Ferraro. Sells finished with 44 total pitches on the afternoon. As that one, a swing and a miss, blew that one right by Ferraro, did Peck. Cranked up a little bit of the velocity there on that fastball. 2-1 now the count. Trying to really come in and stop the bleeding here is Peck. The hitter-friendly second inning for Marshall as that one is chopped foul off the end of the bat there for Ferraro. So he was quickly in a hitter-friendly count. Now it's knotted up at 2-2, and he is in danger of taking a seat on the bench. Still out there at second base is Schaefer. The 2-2. Breaking ball, quick on it, as it'll be hit foul there off of the bat of Ferraro, so he'll stay alive. As that breaking ball, a little up in the zone there from Peck. Don't want to hang it too much, don't want to see another ball leave the yard here at Bob Wren. 2-2 on the way once again. That one, yes, caught the knees. Throw him a chair, sit him down. We'll go Tyler Peck as he gets Ferraro looking up there for out number 2 for the Bobcats.
It's got to feel good if you're Tyler Peck. You strike out one of the best hitters on this Marshall team. Maybe this can be something that the Bobcats can use to get themselves going.
Christian Lucio will come to the plate now. He is the only other out here in the second inning as he struck out looking. Victim to Sells as that pitch is on the outside from Peck for a ball. Peck came in, gave up that double there to Schaefer. And has since found the zone. 1-0 pitch, that one's fouled, backing out of play from Lucio. So 1-1 the count will even up now with 2 down. As mentioned, Peck coming in out of the bullpen quickly in this one, just trying to stop the bleeding in this situation. Don't want to let it get too out of hand early. 1-1 delivery from Peck. That one swung on, chopped out to second base. Patino will field it cleanly, throws on to Peck, who covers first base, gets there in time, and that will be out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the second after Marshall plates 7 runs in the top, as you're still listening to Ohio Baseball. Welcome back here to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. Got a great evening of baseball going on here. A little rivalry matchup between the Marshall Thunder and Herd and the Ohio Bobcats, as after a very impactful top of the second inning for the Bobcats, or for the Thundering Herd. The Bobcats will now head to the plate, now trailing 7-0. As coming to the plate will be Colin Kasperbauer, the left-handed hitting third baseman. He sees 2 straight pitches, and they are out of the zone. As a little bit of difference here for Heiner up on the mound. Hasn't thrown in a minute. But that one in on the hands, and it's scorched over to first base, but Currency will take it himself, touches first, and that will be out number 3, or out number 1, correction, here in the second inning of play. So now that'll bring up Cole Williams, the left fielder. As Ohio trying to really chip away now back into this ball game. First pitch to Williams, slider right down the heart of the plate, in there for strike number 1. Quickly getting ahead is Heiner. Second pitch, that one's chopped over to first base. Currency, once again, a very busy man over there at first base. Takes it himself. Another out for him, as I believe out of the 5 total retired batsmen for the Bobcats, he's made 4 of those outs so far in this ball game, so something interesting to note there for him. So now that'll bring up 2 quick outs. Alex Finney will head to the plate, the backstop for Ohio. He swings at the first one, sends that one right down the left field line, and that'll get down into the green. He rounds first hard, trying for 2, throw in, and that one will not be in time. A stand-up double there for Alex Finney, as the left fielder for Marshall, Kyle Schaefer, got to it quickly, but the throw was not in time. So maybe a little bit of something here to spark the offense of the Bobcats, in desperate need of not just hits but runs in this situation, trailing early 7-0.
And Alex Finney, a 244 hitter, so, you know, nothing fantastic, but that really was a major hit just to get something on the board for Ohio.
Pickoff attempt is all for naught, is getting back in with a head first slide is Finney. This is the 8-hole hitting Harrison Johnson come to the plate for the Bobcats. So far on the season for Johnson, 118 average. 2 down. First pitch to Johnson. Low and in. Shakes his head, says, no, I'll just see that one right into the mitt. Ball number 1. Good take there for Johnson. This is Johnson's 9th game he has appeared in so far this season, his 6th start for Ohio. That one up and in, almost caught the elbow there at Johnson, but once again sees that one on the inside for a ball. So 2-0, the count goes quickly, and if there's a pitch that's relatively in that wheelhouse here of Johnson, you've got to jump on it and possibly get some offense clicking here for the Bobcats, trailing by 7 in the bottom of the second. The 2-0 delivery, that one's on the outside, so a very hitter-friendly count in this situation for Johnson. Not sure if he'll get the green light here with the 3-0 pitch due up with 2 down. And a runner out there on second base. 3-0. That one's a get-me-over fastball that gets Heiner over in there for a strike. So now the count will go to the 3-1 for Heiner. Still a hitter-friendly count here for Johnson. In a big spot here to play to run for Ohio. The pitch. Swung on, lofted into center field. Working in is Edwards. Sees it in the clear blue sky, and it finds the bottom of his glove for out number 3. So the Bobcats aren't able to play in a run there in the bottom of the second inning. Still trail 7-0. We'll head to the third as you're still listening to Ohio Bobcats baseball. back here at Ohio University, Athens, Ohio, for this little rivalry matchup on this Tuesday evening between the Bobcats and the Marshall Thunder and Herd as we're in the top of the third inning. 7-zip the score. Marshall way out ahead. Front foot there of Noble, so he'll line it up and do it again here shortly. But as mentioned, really the
weather.
I think it's enticing, I will say.
Yeah.
I think it's enticing here. It's a great day, great weather. As mentioned, 74 degrees at first pitch, sunny afternoon. A little bit of clouds in the sky off to our left, but
Makes
everything in front
cool
of us.
Too, you know?
Yeah, as that payoff pitch is on the outside part of the zone for a ball, so allowing the free pass here will be Peck, and Noble will take the free 90 trot down to first base. But like we were talking a little bit about there, weather's nice, got a little bit of a breeze, nothing too crazy. It's just, you can tell it's spring in Athens right now. Great, wonderful day, nothing to complain about when it comes to weather.
The only thing we're missing here in the broadcast booth are some hot dogs.
That's
man.
what I'm saying. I can smell. You can smell
Where-
a little
where are
bit.
the
Where's
hot
the
dogs?
aroma out here? Yeah. Where's the hot dogs up here in the booth? Is that first pitch there outside for a ball to KB Peralta, the third baseman.
Are you a guy that puts ketchup on his hot dogs?
Yes, I am a guy that puts ketchup on my hot dogs, Darius. So you're shaking your head over there in agreement as we might have a tailor-made double play. 6-4 over to first base, 3, and that'll be in time. Bobcats roll the double play there. Tailor-made as mentioned, as that one was hit right out to Dolan. Threw it on to Patino and over to first base to Johnson. As a solid double play there, turn for the Bobcats and quickly 2 outs. As that'll bring up the 9-hole Elijah Vogelsong, who reached on an error last time, drove in a run in pursuit, and came around to score on that on the RBI double from Owen Ayers. First pitch to Vogelsong, low and away for a ball. After that double play, the Bobcat faithful starting to get a little bit more into the ball game. You heard a little bit more cheers here. Not to mention that there aren't a lot of Marshall faithful here, I will say. Not a very far trip for them, only an hour 30.
I was going to say, 'cause we were hearing a lot of cheers during that second inning.
Yeah, up from Huntington here to Athens. So both these teams, it's a great thing to see here in midweek games. See a good turnout. Got some good weather here. 1-1 on its way here from Peck. That one's lined right back up the middle. And a solid piece of hitting there right where it came from Vogelsong. Lands in front of Roush out there in center for a base hit. So that'll turn it over to the top of the order once again for Marshall as Luke Edwards, who so far in this ballgame 1 for 2, has came to the plate in all of the innings so far. Struck out back in the first on the 2-2 count. Had a single in the second, which did drive in a run. And he now is at the plate for his third plate appearance of the ball game. The first one he sees is low and away for a ball, so he'll just see it right into the mitt of Finney, who keeps it in front of him. Vogelsong over there at first base for Marshall. The 1-0 on its way from Peck. That one's popped up high and out of play, as that'll be strike number 1.
But how about Vogelsong, though? This is a guy who's shooting 160, batting 161 average, and had so far in this game 2 crucial hits for Marshall, which has really helped catapulted them to that 7-0 lead.
That one put right where the fielders were not. A great piece of hitting there. Backside will move the runner from first to third. Vogelsong fleet with the feet there. A great piece of hitting from Marshall as Luke Edwards shot that one right into the gap, is trying to play close there at second base. I believe actually we had a hit and run on there in that situation. So taking off on the pitch was Vogelsong, was able to reach third base, got the second baseman Patino out of position, and now we've got runners at the corners with 2 down here for Marshall and a chance to do even more damage as Owen Ayers comes to the plate, and both balls that he's put into play, he has got a hold of as a pick off the temple, be all for naught, getting back in safely as Edwards. But Ayers in his first plate appearance, he was first pitch swinging, lined one out to left field. And his second plate appearance, he hit it off the wall, almost out of the Bobcat logo out there in right center field, past the alleys. Another pickoff attempt will be all for not, getting back in safely as Edwards trying to keep him honest over there at first base. Edwards is fleet of feet over there, 8 for 9 stolen bases so far on the season. So Peck trying to do his job as that first pitch in there on the outside part of the zone for Ayers for a strike. What you want to see there if you're the Bobcats trying to get out of yet another jam and not let Marshall possibly increase that lead, as it's already 7-0 here in the top of the third inning, and Marshall already double-digit hits in this ball game, have 10 compared to the Bobcats only 2. The 0-1 on its way from Peck outside. He evens up the count now at 1s. As the Bobcats defense trying to keep the runners at bay here, both Vogelsong and Edwards. Need to be decisive. Yet another pickoff attempt there from Peck.
And the thing with Ayers, too, 25 RBI on the season for Marshall, leads the team. And this is a guy, when you have runners on base, this is not the guy you want to see at the plate. So Bobcats got to be careful here.
1-1 pitch on its way from Peck. That one's lofted into center field, shallow center field. Roush almost looked like he shading his glove from the sun. Will do so with success. It finds his glove for out number 3, and the Bobcats escape the jam. We'll head to the bottom of the third inning. 7-zip the score. Thundering Herd up on the Bobcats. Back at Bob Wren here for the bottom of the third inning as the Bobcats just now getting to the 9-hole. Nick Dolan as he sees the first pitch for Heiner, who's on for another inning of work on the outside for strike number 1. But talking a little bit over the break there, Darius, this is only really the first time through the order for the Bobcats, and Marshall's on their third time as a big hack swing and a miss there from Dolan for strike number 2. Heiner working quickly now. Trying to set down Dolan. The 0-2. That one's chopped foul off of Dolan. So they'll stay alive there in the box. Dolan so far in the season for the Bobcats. 172 average as he pops that one into shallow right field. Camping under it is the second baseman. Lucio has to move a little bit. Almost an over-the-shoulder catch there, but finds the glove there of Lucio for out number 1. So now the Bobcats will go to the top of the order as A.J. Roush will come back to the plate for his second plate appearance. In the first plate appearance, he popped out to the first baseman, Carinci. He's been very active over there defensively at first base as Roush thought about laying down a bunt and possibly would have worked if he pushed it down the first base line. As you can see there on your screen, the defensive set here for Marshall is the shading toward the left side. You can see by Carinci how far he is with the pull hitter due up here of Roush as that second pitch is in there for a strike. We even the count up of 1s with 1 down here for Roush. Roush squibs that one to third base, fielded easily by Peralta, throws on to Carinci at first base, and that will be out number 2. Once again, 2 quick outs for Marshall here, and the Bobcats needing to see a little bit of life offensively here in this ball game with only 2 hits to their credit here in the bottom of the third compared to Marshall's 10.
Yeah, it's been a tale of 2 teams when it comes to the fielding as well. Marshall's really been quick and precise with their play in the fielding. Ohio has made some costly errors.
So now it'll bring up the 2-hole Alec Patino, who checks his swing, but it was in there for a strike regardless. Didn't pull the trigger there. Now he's down 0-1 on the count with 2 down here in the third inning. Sees that one on the outside part of the plate for a ball. So count now evens up back at 1s for Patino. We talked about him in the pregame. Patino leading the way for average for the Bobcats and has that OPS above 1,000 so far this season. So leading the team in both of those categories. That one on the outside part of the plate, another check swing from Patino. He did not go around. So 2-1 now the count goes, and Patino will try to likely hop on one if it's in his wheelhouse here. He will do so, but lost that one down the left field line, chasing, giving it a chase as it landed right on top of the wall down the left field line. So it would have been a ball that would have been catchable there for the left fielder Schaefer, but didn't get over in time. Also wasn't sure where it was going to land with a couple of those pitchers there leaning up against the wall and catchers in the bullpen of the Bobcats. But regardless, the count now evens up at 2s with 2 downs, and Heiner will try to work another scoreless inning. That pitch spiked that one right in front of the plate, hit the turf. Good on the backstop there at Noble to just try to do what he can to keep that one in front, but it kicks away. So now we'll have a payoff pitch due up here to Patino. And here it is from Heiner. Swung on, lofted in the left center field. Patino looking at that one, ranging over as Edwards. It'll split the outfielders there in the left center field gap. Gets down. Good throw from Edwards, but it'll be not in time as reaching second base with a stand-up double there is Alec Patino. Great piece of hitting there. Shot that to the left center field gap. Landed right in front of the warning track. Got into second base standing, and once again, the Bobcats trying to spark a little bit of a 2-out rally here in the bottom of the third inning.
When you need a hit, one call, that's all. Alec Patino is your guy.
So now to bring up Mason Minzy for the Bobcats, who had a single back in the first and was left stranded after a flyout from Sturrock. He's currently sitting on deck. Bobcats trying to play to run. First pitch outside from Heiner for a ball to Minzy. Minzy getting designated hitter roles today for Ohio. Usually him and Finney, most of the guys that see the work behind the plate for Ohio, but hitter-friendly count now for Minzy. 1-0 pitch, a slider backdoor, and it finds that zone there in for a strike. So the count evens up at 1s with 2 down here. Minzy so far up there in RBI, second behind Patino in RBIs this season for the Bobcats. So trying to do his job as a 3-hole here. The 1-1. Swung on, right up the middle, working over, and it'll get past the outstretched glove of Lucio. Coming around to score easily will be Patino, and just as mentioned, an RBI single there for Mason Minzy. Right past the outstretched glove of Lucio. Finds its way into center field, and the Bobcats are on the board now. Plating a run here in the bottom of the third, currently trailing 7-1 to Marshall.
Bobcats got a hot streak going here, Cade. Let's see if they can keep it up. Will Sturrock coming on for the Bobcats.
As you mentioned, Sturrock has a bit of pop in his bat, too. 5 homers on the season, 18 RBIs, third on the team in that category. He lofts that one down the right field line. It's working back at the track, and that one's gone. Give him a wave, touch it all. Will Sturrock, and just as we mentioned, the power in his bat, he sends it over the right field wall for a 2-run shot.
Just like that, we got a ball game.
That we do. Bobcats, Mason Minzy, Patino, Sturrock, their 3 best hitters on this ball club, came into this one, this third inning, and they've all came around to touch the plate, and the Bobcats have some life now, only trailing by 4 with 2 down, and Casper Bauer at the plate. First pitch to him, high and out from Heiner. Wasn't your conventional home run there from Sturrock, but a little oppo-popo power there. 1-0 delivery. That one's upstairs once again for a ball, so Heiner trying to dial it back in now for Marshall as they still hold a lead over the Bobcats. The 2-0 delivery from Heiner. Swung on, fouled back right off the pole here. As almost looked like it may have got something there. Saw a little. I guess
a
the
little
only
bit of
way.
debris there.
Yeah, I was going to say shrapnel, but I guess debris works well there too, Darius. But yeah, hit directly off the pole. Not sure if it's any of the netting up there. Or
Might have to cover the windows here.
yeah. I was going to say it would be very difficult for somebody to get one here into our windows with the net ahead of us. But if you hit it at the right angle, I think you could get one up here. I don't know. I think you could.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. 2-2 pitch due up here to Casper Bauer. He fouls that one down the left field line, so he'll stay alive in the box, trying to battle there. Is the senior Casper Bauer. Fifth-year senior at that. Heiner trying to get out of this one after working 2 scoreless innings in the first and the second. The 2-2 delivery. That one's upstairs, and we'll have a payoff pitch due up here to Casper Bauer. As the Bobcat faithful start to get a little bit more into this ball game. Heiner out of the wind. The payoff pitch on its way to Casper Bauer. That one's inside, almost caught him. Work itself all the way to the backstop, and working a full count walk there will be Colin Casper Bauer. So the Bobcats keeping this 2-out rally in motion here in this third inning of play. So we're going to get time here, and Marshall will now have a mound visit. Chipping away, chipping away. So now coming to the plate for the Bobcats will be Cole Williams, the left fielder. He's got Casper Bauer over at first base. With 2 outs here, the Bobcats have had a little bit of a rally here in this third inning, as that pitch will be lofted into left center field. Got a hold of that one, working toward the alley, but making the over-the-shoulder grab there will be the left fielder, Kyle Schaefer. Got into dangerous territory out near the 380 side in left center field. But that'll be all for the bottom of the third inning. Bobcats plate 3. We'll head to the fourth as you're still listening to Ohio Bobcats baseball. Go back here at Bob Wren as we had the 3, 4, or 5. Heart of the order due up here for Marshall, but we just saw the action there for Daniel Carinci. He came to the plate. He was 2 for 2 on the day, but squibbed that one off the end of his bat. So he will be set down there for the first time in this ball game for the Bobcats, or for Marshall, which will bring up now the cleanup hitter, Kyle Schaefer, who is working on a 1 for 2 day. Had a double back in the second. Grounded out to the second baseman, Patino. First pitch from Peck, who's on for another inning. Outside for a ball. So the 1-0 count now with 1 down. That one's got a hold but lifted foul from Schaefer. The count now evens up at 1s. 7-3 your score. Marshall currently ahead of the Bobcats. Bobcats had a bit of an answer there in that third inning as that pitch was blown right by. Swing and a miss for Schaefer, and he is quickly in danger of being set down on strikes. The 1-2 delivery from Peck. That one's hit into left center field, working in a little bit of miscommunication there as it'll drop in between the left center field gap there, as it looked like Cole Williams was going to camp up under it, but at the last minute he looked over to A.J. Roush and said, hey, do you have this one? And then both of them just kind of couldn't converge on it in time, so it gets down. They will score that one a hit, which by technicality, yes, it is a hit, but still a little bit of a ball that should not drop there for the Bobcats.
And what's been the Achilles heel that we've been talking about all evening long, Cade? It's been fielding errors. The Bobcats just made some costly mistakes out there, especially in deep territory, and Marshall has taken advantage.
And we'll see if they can continue to take advantage here with the number 5 forward, Gio Ferraro. He's working on a 1 for 2 today. Had a single back in the second, came around to score after a stolen base. It's a big swing and a miss there from Ferraro for strike 1, but he does have a runner out there in the scoring position with Schaefer now. And as mentioned, it is a deep outfield, I will say, here at Bob Wren. So sometimes you may think, oh, that ball won't get down. They'll converge on it in time. Well, I mean, when you look at the dimensions of this place, 340 down the lines, 380 in the alleys, and 405 dead center. It's a deep park here on the banks of the Hocking, as that pitch is low into the turf for Ferraro, who now works the count to 1-2. 1 down here in the top of the fourth. Ferraro at the dish. Peck still on the mound for the Bobcats. 1-2 delivery. That one's fouled, up and out of play. So we'll line it up and do it again at 1-2. Ferraro, as mentioned, 1 for 2 day, was set down on strikes looking last time at the dish. Peck will try to do the same thing here. The 1-2 once again. That one, Bobcat faithful, including Peck up there on the mound, and Finney thought that slider was just enough, caught the inside of the zone, but no, said home plate umpire Pat Atkins, it'll be a ball. So count now evens up at 2s. And here's the delivery. That one got him on the inside, swung the sword at that one. Did Ferraro. So back-to-back strikeouts for Ferraro, both being set down by Peck, so he'll try to work out of this jam here. Has 2 down now for Marshall at the dish, and that'll bring up the 6-hole hitting second baseman Christian Lucio, who is 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a ground out. First pitch to him, just low. He'll see it into the glove of Finney for a ball. Peck checks the runner out there at second base and Schaefer. The 1-0 delivery just outside yet again. Lucio came into this one hitting 182 on the season for Marshall. 9 RBIs, trying to get into double digits here with this plate appearance. That one's low, below the knees, so quickly into a very hitter-friendly count. As Lucio, the second baseman, and Peck trying to work out of a hole here. The 3-0 pitch, a get-me-over fastball, but swinging there with 2 outs was Lucio. And he fouls that one right into the screen in front of us. So the count will now work to 3-1. 2 down here at the top of the fourth for Marshall. The pitch from Peck. That one right down the middle of the plate in there for strike number 2. So count now at full. We'll have a payoff pitch with 2 down. Bobcats trying to once again stop the bleeding. Payoff pitch. That one's hit down the left field line. Looks like it will, yes, work itself out of play just in front of the bullpen. As we will do it once again with a full count due up here to the second baseman, Christian Lucio. Peck gets his signs from Finney. Comes set. Payoff pitch just below the knees for a ball. Peck can't believe it there. But he will end up walking the man Lucio. So continuing their inning are the Marshall Thundering Herd, and that'll bring up the catcher, Chris Noble, who is 1 for 1 on the day, had a walk back in the third as well as an RBI single, which started that impressive second inning for Marshall. 2 down, Peck trying to work out of a jam here. The pitch to Noble into the turf, but well kept in front by the backstop Finney. Bobcats trying to hold it right here. Chipped away their last plate appearance in the third. Trying to keep it where it is. That one swung on over to first base, fielded easily, flipped on to Peck. He'll step on it, and the Bobcats get out of the jam as Johnson puts that one right to Peck, and they'll get out of the top of the fourth. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. 7-3, still your score. Thundering Herd out front. Seven, 8, 9 due up here in the bottom of the fourth inning for the Bobcats as they trail Marshall 7-3. Alex Finney will dig into the box here for his second plate appearance of the day as that one sees it right in the mitt in there for strike number 1. Finney was swinging at the first pitch in his first at-bat. He ended up getting a double down the left field line. He decides to see that one right into the turf for a ball, so the count now evens up at 1s. As Heiner finds the outside part of the zone. Great spot there for Heiner, and he is now up in the count 1-2. Trying to sit down Finney. Finney will say not so fast as he'll bloop that one right over the shortstop's head. In there for a single. In on the hands. Good piece of defensive hitting there for Finney. He now 2 for 2 on the day in the bottom of the order, trying to maybe get something going here for the Bobcats.
And Heiner That was his 55th pitch. So you have to wonder at some point fatigue is going to start creeping in here for Heiner once we get up to, 70, 75, 80.
Something interesting about Heiner as well. He's a Huntington man through and through, born and raised in Huntington, West Virginia, and ended up playing for Marshall. Is that one good piece right there from the 8-hole Harrison Johnson? Screamed that one right back up the middle. It'll be a single, but moving quickly over there to third base is Alex Finney. First pitch. And a single there for Harrison Johnson. So runners at the corners now for the Bobcats. And as mentioned, bottom of the order starting to get some things rolling here for Ohio. No down. Runners at the corners. Nick Doan coming to the plate. 0 for 1 in the game. Pots out to the second baseman, Lucio, in his first plate appearance. Trying to keep this one close, keep Ohio in the game. The pitch, gets a hold of that one, sends it out to left field. Ranging back is Schaefer. He'll catch it at the track. Tagging up, though, on the catch is Finney at third base, so that one will go down as a sacrifice fly for Nick Dolan. And coming in to score there will be Alex Finney, so gets the job done there for the Bobcats. So one down, and that will make that advantage for Marshall ever so slighter now. 7-4. Thunder and Herd ahead. That'll turn it over to the top of the order now for A.J. Roush. First pitch he sees is in there for a strike. Roush so far working on an 0 for 2 day. As here's the 0-1 pitch from Heiner. It's chopped foul down the third base line, so Roush in danger of being set down on strikes now with the battle in the box. Now for Ohio. One on first, one down. Johnson over there on first. The pitch. That one below the knees, but fights it off, fouled as Roush, so we'll line it up and do it again at 0-2. To the center fielder from Central Ohio, the Bobcats. Set at the chest here for Heiner. That one runs inside, almost caught Roush, and Heiner had to do a little dancing up there on the mound. I think he tripped over his shoelaces there. Almost fell down on the mound.
Little home plate pirouette for him there.
Regardless, that pitch was on the inside, so count now 1-2 with one down. And Roush at the plate. That one just upstairs for a ball. Good discipline there from Roush to leave it up there. So the count now evens up at 2s. Roush has worked it up there. With one down here in the fourth. That one low and away. Roush says, not for me once again. The discipline coming in handy in this at-bat. Count now runs full for A.J. Roush. The payoff pitch on its way. Taking off on the pitch was the runner, Johnson, but he'll be sent back as that one was fouled up and out of play. So we'll do it once again with a payoff pitch due up. We'll see if Johnson takes off with one down here. Full count, one down for A.J. Roush. The pitch from Heiner, taking off is Johnson. That one's on the inside. Throw down to second base. Will not be in time. Gets past the second baseman, Lucio. So he would have been in there safe regardless. Is Johnson. It will not go down as a stolen base because of the walk. But now, Bobcats with one down. One swing of the bat can tie this ball game up after they trailed 7-0 early, and I think Beals is up out of the dugout. He points down to the bullpen, and that'll be the day for Heiner. So we'll take a break here. We'll be back with the final stats for Hino and who the new pitcher is. Pitching change here for the Thunder and Herd of Marshall as that'll end Heiner's day. As he went 3 1/3, gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, all those being earned, 2 walks, and a total of 65 pitches. He currently is in line for the win as they will turn it over to Cole Ajme out of the bullpen for Marshall. As he'll try to stop the bleeding here for the Bobcats as they have crept, and are right there knocking on the door in this ball game. As Patino at the plate sees the first pitch low for a ball. Ajme, senior righty, stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, 220. As Patino chops that one down the first base line, it'll stay fair, gets into the outfield. Rounding third base is Johnson. Staying at third base will be Roush, and an RBI double there for Alec Patino, and the Bobcats are cooking here in the 4th inning of play. As now one swing into the green will tie this game up after that RBI double there from Alec Patino.
And that's the second consecutive time that the Bobcats have needed a big hit by Patino, and he has come to deliver.
So now Mason Minzy comes to the plate, working on a 2-for-2 day with a pair of singles. Another one here would likely tie this ball game after the Bobcats trailed 7-0. That one's up the middle, and it will find the glove of Lucio. Throws on to first base. It'll be in time after a stretch. An acrobatic throw there from Lucio, but not before a run will come across the score there. So in a way, it's a very productive out there for Mason Minzy as it will drive in a run as Roush will come across the score. Now only one run separates these two squads. 7-6 now your score with a 4-hole hitting Will Sturrick up to bat. Last time he came to the plate, he put one over the right field fence. Ajme's pitch into the turf for a ball. Ajme, as mentioned, coming out of the bullpen. This is his 10th appearance on the season. 4.70 ERA. That pitch below the knees to Sturrick. And Ajme in 15 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 13 hits, 10 runs, 8 of those earns, 12 walks, 15 strikeouts, and a batting average against of 224. The 2-0 pitch once again below the knees, and Sturrock into a very hitter-friendly count. It seems like Ajmi might be pitching around him here with first base available over there 90 feet away. 3-0 from Ajmi. That one's upstairs. 4 pitches, 4 balls, and a walk. An easy 90 there for Will Sturrock. So now runners at the corners with 2 down here for Colin Kasperbauer, who was 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to Carinci at first base and walked in his last plate appearance back in the 3rd.
Not the start that Agami wanted. That's for sure.
That is true, as Ajmis came out of the bullpen for Marshall. Gave up a double down the line, gave up a ground ball, and then walked Kasperbauer on 4 pitches. Or correction, walked Sturrock on 4 pitches. Now Kasperbauer at the plate as the first pitch to him inside. A breaking pitch that broke a little too much. Ball 1. To Colin Kasperbauer here in a big spot for the Bobcats to tie this game up in the bottom of the 4th. That pitch is high and out. Ajmi struggling to find command and find that zone after the pitch to Patino that ended up being a double down the first base line. Has to find it here with a hitter-friendly count to Kasperbauer. The 2-0. That one's low. And now a total of 7 straight balls from Ajmi, dating back to Sturrock's plate appearance. 2 down, runners at the corners. Ajmi's delivery. That one's a get-me-over fastball. Gets him over. Finally breaks the street right down Broadway there for strike number 1. His first strike in 8 pitches. Kasperbauer digs in once again. 3-1 from Ajmi. That one's right on the outside part of the plate. Great spot there. So now the count runs full and likely taking off here on the pitch will be Will Sturrock with 2 down here and a full count. The payoff from Ajmi. Swung on, chopped foul, and will line it up and do it again. There is Kasperbauer, defensive with that swing. He'll stay alive here. And we'll try to continue this inning for the Bobcats, who have a chance to tie this ball game up after being down 7-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. The payoff from Ajmi. Swung on, chopped by Kasperbauer, and it'll work itself foul. Might have been a little too inside, but you never know there. You don't want to go down looking if you're Kasperbauer here, so he stays alive. And we will do it once again with the full count.
Man, the suspense, Kate.
Yeah, this is a massive at-bat here for Colin Kasperbauer. You can feel the suspense here at Bob Wren. The payoff once again. Swung on, chopped high into the air from Kasperbauer, and it works itself foul down the first base line. Colin Kasperbauer has had 3 payoff pitches this plate appearance, and he's fouled all of them off to stay alive here. Tension palpable. Kasperbauer at the plate trying to tie things up here for the Bobcats. The payoff pitch from Ajmi. That one's inside, hits off the turf, and finds a home in the rubber pellets, and Kasperbauer will take his free 90 down the first base line. After being up 3-0 in the count, worked back to a full count. He found 3 off, watched one right into the turf again, and we've got bases loaded here for Cole Williams. The Bobcats have batted around here in the 4th and now have a chance to take a lead here with Cole Williams at the dish. 0 for 2 so far in the ball game with a ground out to first base and a line out to left field. Ajmi struggled to find the zone here down the stretch of his appearance out of the bullpen in the 4th inning. The first pitch to Williams, low and away for a ball. Ajmi struggled to find the zone here. Out of the bullpen for Marshall, seems to be one of those power pitchers. Tries to overpower you with the fastball and good break-off speed. That pitch does just that with that high cheese swing and a miss. Right through it goes Williams. That's where your eyes get big as a hitter. You see that fastball coming right in, right at the letters or above, and you think, oh, I can handle this, and it handles you. 1-1 count, 2 outs due up. Pitch here low into the turf for Williams. He sits on it once again. And another hitter-friendly count to a Bobcat. This ever-important plate appearance. Ajmi comes set. The pitch. That one's lofted into left center field. Schaefer camps up under it. Good piece right there, but unfortunate. It'll find the glove as Schaefer and the Bobcats aren't able to convert. But they do strike for 3. 7-6 your score. We'll head to the 5th. We've got ourselves a ball game, folks. Bobcats have made this one interesting here in the top of the 5th inning. Marshall at one point in this ballgame led 7-0. But in the past 2 innings, the Bobcats have struck for 3 in each. 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, and they've made this one a one-run ball game. And it's been also due to the man up on the mound for another inning of work. For the Bobcats, Mr. Tyler Peck, who's done well to stop the bleeding, has come in and shut down Marshall so far in this ballgame. As the first pitch of the 5th is in there for a strike, as 8-9-1 do appear for the Thundering Herd as KB Peralta settles into the box here, working on a 1-for-2 day. Had a single back in the 2nd, grounded into a double play. His last plate appearance, that one low there to Peralta for a ball, so count evens up at 1. Peck working quickly. Peralta fouls that one back and out of play as the Bobcats have a righty working now up in the bullpen. So if things go smoothly here for Peck through this inning, I'm sure he'll finish it out, and that might be his day. But feels as though he gets into just the slightest bit of trouble, and that might end his day as a ground ball over to Kasperbauer. Fields it on the run, throws it over to first base in time. 1 batter, 1 down to start off the 5th for the Bobcats.
You got to give a lot of credit to Tyler Peck. You know, Colin Sells comes out, gives up 7 innings. You know, that's a lot on your plate to take over if you're Tyler Peck, and he has come up to accepted the challenge.
9-hole Vogelsong comes to the plate now for Marshall. And he smacks that one right over to the first baseman. Try to catch it easy with Johnson off his glove. Throws it on in time. Just in time, they'll say, to Peck, who came over the field at first base. So what looked like to maybe be another fielding mishap for the Bobcats is all for naught as the throw was in time from Johnson to Peck. 2 batters, 2 quick outs now. After a little bit of a scare there off the bat of Vogelsong. And a little bit of tail on that one off of Vogelsong's bat is what might have thrown Johnson off over there at first base. That one's off the end of bat of Edwards, fielded by the shortstop Dolan on to first base. It will not be in time as he beat that one by about a step there, did Edwards with his fleet feet. And now has his 3rd single of the ball game.
And that's why Luke Edwards is at the top of the order.
As Darius mentioned there, a guy that gets on base and shows it right there with his fleet feet. Hit it for an infield single. He is now 3 for 4 in the day with a strikeout and a trio of singles, which will now bring up Owen Ayers. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Had a RBI double back in the second, which busted this game wide open for Marshall, but Bobcats have made it close since. His quick pickoff attempt is all for naught with the fleet-footed Edwards over there at first base. Yet to steal a bag so far in this ball game, but he is 8 for 9 on the season. So definitely a speed demon at that. And keeping him honest, rightfully so, is Peck at first base with 2 pickoff attempts. Still try to get out of this inning. Once again, scoreless for Peck. 2 down now for Ayers. That one's way outside, almost into the other batter's box as Finney has to dive for it to find his glove. Ball number 1 to the designated hitter, Ayers. Ayers, as mentioned, came into this ball game leading the team in RBI. Picked up another one here in this ball game. Has that total up to 26 on the season. As the 1-0 pitch once again in a very similar spot there from Peck. High and outside. He'll have to dial it back in here and find the zone. Does right there. That one's lifted. Might be able to make a play on his ranging back as Casper Bauer, and it will fall right in the middle of no man's land, but in foul territory. That was a tough play regardless for both Casper Bauer to make the over-the-shoulder catch, and for Dolan, who was playing almost behind second base in that situation for the Bobcats. Had to range over almost to the bullpen for Ohio. Regardless, it is a strike, as that is what it'll go down in the book as. So 2-1 the count now with 2 down to Ayers. As Ohio is trying to escape once again with a scoreless inning and keep this game right where it's at, especially with their bats hot on Marshall's tail. Peck peers into Finney, gets his signs, comes set at the belt. 2-1. Breaking ball breaks right into the zone on the outer half, in there for a strike, evens up the count at 2s. Once again, Peck trying to work out, keep this game where it is. 2-2. That one might be in play, lifted down the left field line, but instead finds a home just at the bottom of the mound down the left field line here at Bob Wren Stadium. So we'll line it up and do it once again at 2-2s with 2 down here. As really, besides that second inning, Marshall's been somewhat quiet with the bats. They've been in striking distance here and there. They've had runners in scoring position, but they haven't really been able to do anything with it. The 2-2 from Peck. That one, dead center field, lifted out there to Roush, right at him. Barely had to move, maybe 2 steps to his left. Finds his glove, and once again, shutting things down. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th, 7-6 your score. Bobcats trying to get out in front. Bottom of the 5th inning, Bobcats within striking distance on the Marshall Thundering Herd as they will have the bottom of the order due up here, 7, 8, 9. So we shall see what happens as Alex Finney will come to the plate. Bobcats only trailing by 1. Ajmi on the mound once again for Marshall. So try to keep this inning at bay. First pitch is in there for a strike to Finney. The outside part of the plate from Ajmi. Oh, 1 on its way. That one finds the zone once again to Finney, and he is quickly down 0-2 in the count.
Finney already with 2 big-time hits to his name on the stat sheet today as well.
Trying to keep that hot streak going is Finney. That pitch just on the inside. Almost looked like a slider that broke right into the zone, or breaking pitch. Just looked like a little bit of a slurve action right there from Ajmi. As the 1-2 due up here. That one, once again, the breaking pitch. Just a little bit too much break on that one. Outside of the zone, it'll go. Count evens up at 2s. Finney trying his best to stay alive there, and as Darius mentioned, 2 for 2 on the day with a double and a single to his credit. That one's fouled back and out of play toward the river here at Bob Wren. Staying alive up there with the 2-2 count will be Alex Finney in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Geese will have some baseballs to play with.
Yeah,
With
that is definitely for sure down there by the river. The 2-2 pitch, that one's hit high and deep to left center field. Toward the track working is the left fielder Schaefer, and he will camp up under it for out number 1, but a loud out at that off of the bat of Alex Finney. Now the 8-hole, Harrison Johnson will come to the plate for Ohio. 1 for 2 on the day with a fly out to center field and a single to center field for the first baseman. So try to spark something here at the bottom of the order for Ohio. First pitch to him, low and in, just a little too much, says the home plate umpire, Pat Atkins. Ball number 1. The 1-0. That one looked to be true right down the heart of the plate, but just below the knees. There to Johnson. So ball number 2. Ajmi quickly behind in the count for Marshall. Big swing and a miss there from Johnson, as Ajmi gave him a pitch to hit, and Johnson said, I'll take a big hack at it, but didn't get a piece of it. Swung right through it, 2-1, the count will go. Pitch from Ajmi. That one on the inside part of the plate. Good pitch there. Right in for a strike, and the count now works back to 2-2 with 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. That one's hit toward first base. Currency fields it cleanly, throws it on to his pitcher, Ajmi, who comes over to cover for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down quickly here in this bottom of the 5th inning. So now the 9-hole Nick Dolan will come to the plate. He is working on an 0-for-1 day. Had a sacrifice fly. His last plate appearance ended up driving in Alex Finney. Kind of got that rally going for the Bobcats in the 4th inning, where they played at 3. The first pitch to Dolan is low and away for a ball. Ajmi came on out of the pen, struggled to really find the zone, find his command, but since then he's settled down. Starting to work well here for Marshall as his 1-0 pitch just on the black on the outside part of the plate, in there for strike number 1. And especially Marshall wants to do is stop that Bobcat offense with the heart of their order due up in the 6th. That pitch, thought about pulling the trigger, was Dolan, did not decide to do it. He'll pay for it. It was in there for a strike regardless. So now the count to 1-2 with 2 down. Ajmi trying to go 1-2-3. Swing and a miss. A big swing and a miss at that for Dolan. As 1-2-3 for the first time in this ball game, either team will go through an inning. And we will turn it over to the 6th inning. Marshall still up on Ohio 7-6. We'll head to the 6th. Heart of the order due up here in the top of the 6th inning for the Marshall Thunder and Herd, and they will face out of the bullpen Zach Weber for the Bobcats as they make a pitching change here. The sophomore right-hander stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, 210 out of Lebanon, Ohio. They're just north of the Cincinnati area, and coming into this one, Weber on the season, a 10.18 ERA, a 1-4 win-loss record. This is his 9th appearance in 20 and 3rd innings pitches. That one lined right back up the middle, but on a hop to the second baseman out there, Patino. 1 pitch, 1 out. As Carinci goes down on that ground out there. So Weber working quickly, but to finish up his stats, 20 and 3rd innings pitch, he's given up 36 hits, 26 runs, 23 of those being earned, 9 walks, 10 strikeouts, and has a batting average against of .371. This pitch here will get you the final stats today from Tyler Peck as Weber pounds the zone once again now to the 4-hole. Kyle Schaefer, as Peck's day will end. Weber working quickly up there on the mound. That pitch high and out for a ball. Peck finished, went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 0 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 62 total pitches in the ball game as that pitch finds the heart of the zone there to Schaefer and quickly up in the count working. Up tempo is Weber. That one, slider backdoor, tried to get it, but just too far off the plate.
And Schaefer, one of the catalysts for that 7-0 inning in the second for Marshall. Want to see if Weber can strike him out here and keep Ohio's momentum going here.
Payoff pitch due up. That one's hit high and deep down the right field line. Looking up and touch them all. Give it a wave. Kyle Schaefer.
Now I spoke too soon.
Yes, you did right there, Darius. A little bit of announcer's jinx right there as Weber had an off-speed pitch that just hung right over the heart of the zone, and Kyle Schaefer made him pay. So he got a hold of that one. Almost looked like a no-doubter off the bat, but a wall scraper at that. So that will extend Marshall's lead, and for the first time since that second inning where they played at 7, they finally get another run. 8-6 now the score in favor of the Thunder and Herd as the first pitch. A check swing hit off the knob there. Gio Ferraro will be in there for a strike. That right there for Schaefer was his 4th home run on the season, as making a sliding effort there was Nick Dolan. Tried to throw it, but the turf now with the sun setting here in Athens starts to get maybe a little bit more slick out there, so it would have been a tough play regardless for Dolan. It'll be an infield single there for Gio Ferraro. Now has 2 singles on the day as well as 2 strikeouts, and he will be out there on first base as Marshall starts to chip away here. Weber still working on the mound for Ohio. Christian Lucio will come to the plate. The first pitch he sees is a strike right on the outer half of the plate. Lucio so far working on an 0-for-2 day. Last plate appearance reached first on a walk. The 0-1 pitch, grounded right back up the middle, fielded by Dolan, flipped on to Patino, tried to throw over to first base, but A good play there from Dolan, who was shading toward that second base bag. Went from the left side to the right side of the bag from what you can see there on your screen. Flipped it, got the out. Solid fielder's choice there. But reaching first regardless will be Lucio. So he'll be up on first base. Now with 2 down is Chris Noble. Will work into the box. Pickoff attempt from Weber to keep Lucio honest over there at first base, and rightfully so, as Lucio 9 for 10, leading Marshall with stolen base attempts on the season. First pitch in there for a strike right at the knees to Noble. 1 for 2 on the day. Grounded out to the first baseman Johnson last time at the dish. Pickoff attempt from Weber, all for naught. Back in with the dive is Lucio.
Seen that a couple times from Weber now. He's not afraid.
Trying to keep him honest over there. Doesn't want him to move up another 90 feet. That one's low. Almost center the turf, but kept in front by Finney, so count now evens up at 1s. Weber comes set at the belt. Runner takes off. Lucio, throw down to second base, will be in time. Finney brought out the cannon, threw him out, and the Bobcats will try to take some momentum after a solo shot. Increases Marshall's lead. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. 8-6, your score. Pitching change here for Marshall, as that'll be the end of Ajmi's day. He sets himself up out of the ball game for the win. Currently for Marshall, he went 1 2/3, gave up a hit, 2 walks, a strikeout, and 32 pitches. As now out of the bullpen will be the two-way guy, Drew Harlow, a junior righty out of Halifax, Virginia. He will have to face the top of the Bobcat order here in the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch from Harlow, a big swing and a miss out of the shoes there from A.J. Roush in there for strike 1. But Harlow so far on the season making his 12th appearance, 5.13 ERA, 4-2 win-loss record, and 26 1/3 innings pitched as that one is low into the turf for a ball. Has given up 25 hits, 16 runs, 15 of those being earned, 10 walks, 32 strikeouts, and has a batting average against of .255. The 1-1 here to Roush, just on the outside part of the plate, in there for a strike to the Ohio center fielder. So we'll have to battle up there in the box. Currently hitless in this ball game, 0 for 2 on the day. That one's right down the heart of the plate, and Harlow will throw Roush a chair there, out number 1. A quick out at that. And there for a strikeout. So showing off that strikeout to walk ratio there is Harlow.
And how about that kind of start at the pitching mound? You strike out A.J. Roush. He's your first assignment. You strike him out. Great start.
Now to bring up Alec Patino. Swung the bat well in the deeper part of this ball game as he fouls that one high and in off. Back into the netting behind home plate. Patino working on a 2 for 3 day with a pair of doubles. Came around to score back in the third. The first run for the Bobcats in this ball game. The 0-1 now to Patino. That one checks his swing, but it would not have mattered. It was in there for a strike anyways. 0-2 quickly in a hole is Patino. Coming out of the bullpen, Harlow looking to keep this game right where it's at. The 0-2. That one in on the hands. Hit behind the third base, or behind third base, and camping under it easily, putting that one away will be KB Peralta. For out number 2, so 2 quick outs for Harlow out of the bullpen. And currently in a situation where Ohio's going to have to work even harder for a victory in this ball game, as they currently trail 8-6 to Marshall. First pitch now to the 3-hole hitting Minzy is fouled back and out of play. 0-1 the count now with 2 down. Minzy, so far 2 for 3 on the day with a pair of singles, came around to score also in the third inning of play. Will Sturck's home run down the right field line. That one's right down Broadway, in there for a strike to Minzy, and once again in an 0-2 count. Bobcats have been there this entire inning. The 0-2 on its way from Harlow. Swing and a miss. 1, 2, 3. The Bobcats go, and back-to-back. 6 straight retired for the or 7 straight rather retired for the Bobcats. So they're in a difficult position where they've got to get the bats going. We'll head to the 7th. 8-6. Marshall still ahead. Top of the 7th inning here, 8-6 your score. Marshall currently ahead of Ohio in this rivalry matchup on this Tuesday evening. 7, 8, 9 due up here for Marshall. As Weber back on the mound for the Bobcats. First one crossed up as catcher Finney as Noble digs back into the box. I know we were talking a little bit about that there over the break, Darius. Is playing in the Sun Belt for Marshall, you got to make a little bit of travels here and there, I will say. Across the Sun Belt for where they've got to go. Got to go all the way down to Louisiana. Got to go out east. Yeah, I mean, there's some places you got to go, and then after this, they got to go travel out to Texas to take on Texas State. So another Bobcats who they'll have to play after this one.
Yeah, they'll go to San Marcos, Texas, and then they even go to Atlanta to face off against Georgia State at the end of the month.
Yeah, so definitely a very busy travel schedule. And even when you're not even playing your home games in Huntington for Marshall, it's a bit of a travel schedule there, as that one's chomped out to the second baseman. Fielded easy, throwing from Patino to Johnson. For out number 1 as Noble will be set down.
So for the Thundering Herd, Athens is quite literally up the road.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
when you compare it to the rest of their travel
They
schedule.
will definitely take that travel any day of the week, specifically on those Tuesdays for those out-of-conference games. Is now the 8-hole KB Peralta will dig into the box. First one from Weber off the plate, outside for a ball. As for the Bobcats after this one, they'll travel out west to take on their other rivals, the Miami Redhawks, as that one is chopped in over the head of Casper Bauer for a single. for KB Peralta, his second single of the ballgame, and he reaches first base easily there. But as mentioned, after this one, the Bobcats will have a weekend series Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where they will take on Battle of the Bricks. It is with the Miami Redhawks. They'll be here, actually, at home this weekend, so staying here, a little bit of a home stretch. They traveled up to Toledo this past weekend. Had a decent stretch at that. The Bobcats will like to be home here in April, as pickoff attempt there will be all for naught in time. Currently in conference, Bobcats are sitting at 11-4, so up there in that conference record, I will say. As a little bit of a cuff there, swung the sword at that one, did Elijah Vogelsong. The first pitch he sees is in there for a strike, a back foot slider that, as mentioned, just swung right through. But Marshall not as favorites in their conference record, 4-8 so far in the Sun Belt for them.
And here's the thing, too, Cade. Marshall started off the season 4-1, and now they sit with an overall record of 13-16. So they've been, even though they won their most recent game, they've been sliding here as we hit the midway point of the season.
As a swing and a miss, hit and run attempt there, swung on, throws to second base. That one will be in time. Another caught stealing for Finney, as he's done well so far in this ballgame. Got Peralta throw on a hop, and now it might be an unconventional way of going 3 up, 3 down here for the Bobcats, as Vogelsong is into an 0-2 hole. So Weber will try to sit him down. That one low into the turf, and we will have a 1-2 pitch due up here to the 9-hole hitting Vogelsong. Weber turns, kicks and fires. Slider, back door, throw him a chair. That'll be the end of the top of the 7th. We'll head to the 7th inning stretch. Bobcats still trail by 2, but try to carry some momentum.
For the end.
7th inning stretch is over and done with. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Bobcats still trail Marshall 8-6 in this one, but still within striking distance, especially with the ever dangerous Will Sturrock at the plate. As Harlow out there for another inning of work. 4, 5, 6 do it for Ohio. Sturrock, big swing and a miss of that one in there for strike number 1. Sturrock working on a 1-for-2 day with a home run. Guapo Taco action back in the 3rd inning. That one's right down the heart of the plate in there for a strike. And once again, every batter that Harlow has faced out of the bullpen for Marshall, he has got them in an 0-2 hole. Here's the pitch to Sturrock. He's behind that one, but fouls it back off into the net. Stays alive up there in the box. But as mentioned, Sturrock, with that power hitting the 4 hole, flew out to center field his first at bat. Had that home run and walked in his last plate appearance on 4 straight pitches. Now into an 0-2 hole. That one, great breaking pitch there from Harlow. Pull him a chair, as he will set him down on another strikeout. So out of the 4 batters that Harlow has faced, 3 strikeouts. 2 of them looking as well. So that'll bring up Colin Kasperbauer, the 5-hole for the Bobcats. 0 for 1 on the day with a pair of walks. Only ball he's put in play, grounded over to first base, and the first pitch he sees is right at the knees, in there for a strike. Once again, getting ahead is Harlow. Harlow takes a deep breath. That pitch, the first batter he will not face 0-2, is that one just below the knees to Kasperbauer.
Kasperbauer's had a rough game today for a 2.65 hitter. Hasn't had any big hits in this game yet.
That pitch, once again, right at the knees to Kasperbauer. But once again into a hole goes a Bobcat. Down 1-2 in the count is the third baseman, Drew Harlow. Turns, kicks the 1-2. Ooh, just a bit inside. Looked close. A good frame there by Noble behind the dish. Just inside, says home plate umpire Pat Atkins. Now the 2-2. It's the longest the count has gone on for Harlow so far in the ball game. Kasperbauer gets that one. A great diving play over there at first base by Carinci. A flip on over to Harlow. And the 2, little high five right there. But, hey, I got to say, Carinci over there at first base has been very, very sound defensively in this ball game for Marshall. 2 down now for the Bobcats. Cole Williams will come to the plate. And he will try to avoid the Bobcats now on a 9 straight retired streak. Trying to avoid making that double digits as Williams. First pitch just below the knees outside. So that's the first batter that Drew Harlow has faced that he hasn't thrown a first pitch strike to in this ballgame. The 1-0. Big swing and a miss there from Williams. Swung right through that one. 1-1 count evens up now. So Drew Harlow's come out of the bullpen and 1 1/3 innings, or 2/3 innings of work. It's carved up the Bobcats. 1-1. Too much break on that. Breaking pitch gets into the turf. The first hitter-friendly count, true hitter-friendly count, that Drew Harlow has given a batter in this appearance. 2-1, 2 down here. Pitch due up to Cole Williams. Almost looked like it got him there, but just a little inside as he gets out of the way of danger. So now 3-1 the count, and Drew Harlow now in danger of allowing a free pass in his first base run of the ballgame. And he will not do it on that pitch as he threw that one right over the heart of the plate. And we will get a payoff pitch due up here to Cole Williams. The 3-2 from Harlow. And it will catch the inside corner. And he will be just a pair of shoes up there as Cole Williams. Another strikeout looking there. As Bobcats go 1, 2, 3. 10 straight retired. We'll head to the 8th inning. Marshall still ahead by 2. Back here at Bob Wren, Zach Weber back on the mound for another inning of work for the Bobcats as Marshall still clinging on to a 2-run lead here in the top of the 8th inning. Just trying to look for some insurance as 5 straight Marshall batters have been set down. In a technical sense, a couple have been caught stealing, or yes, 2 of them actually have been caught stealing. So in an unconventional way, but still, yes, the last 5 batters for Marshall have still been set down. As count now even at 1s for Weber up on the mound. Another breaking pitch slides a little bit too much out of the zone to the leadoff man, Luke Edwards.
And since he's come in this game, Drew Harlow has had fairy dust in that right arm of his. Let's see if Zach Weber can do the same for Ohio and help him get back into this game.
Weber just trying to keep the Bobcats where they're at as that one is hit right up the middle but fielded well by Dolan, throwing to first base. And the speed of Edwards will not be enough for him to reach on an infield single as he will be set down for out number 1. So now 6 straight set down as it's turned into a pitcher's duel in the back half of this ball game. It was offense, offense, offense in the front half. But since the top of the 5th inning, only 1 run has come across the score, and it's that man, or correction, it was Kyle Schaefer with a solo shot for Marshall in the 6th inning. Is count now even up 1-1s to Owen Ayers. He'll chop that one right into the outfield past the outstretched glove of Colin Kasperbauer. So another single there for Marshall, and another hit in this ball game for Owen Ayers, who is now 2 for 5 in the ball game with a trio of flyouts, a double, and a single to his credit, which brings up Daniel Carinci, who had a home run back in the 2nd inning, which really got this game out where it is. But a ground ball past the diving glove of Kasperbauer finds a home into left field. As back-to-back singles now for Marshall, and as mentioned, they're trying to get some insurance here in the top of the 8th inning, and they have a solid opportunity to do so, especially with the forward hole Kyle Schaefer coming to the plate. The last time he was up, we'd like to flash you back to the 6th inning. Got a hold of one, sent it out to right field, and over the fence, cleared them all for a solo home run. Showed a lot of pop so far in this ballgame. 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, that home run as mentioned, and a ground out. And Weber would like to use the ground out here. First pitch, high and out for a ball. 1-0, delivery on the way. That one just low below the knees of Schaefer. He is now into a 2-0, very hitter-friendly count here for Marshall. Trying to keep this game where it's at. Backdoor slider finds the bottom part of the zone there, in for a strike from Weber. So now count 2-1 with 1 down. Runners on first and second here still for Marshall. Pitch, that one's low and in. Now 3-1. Hitters count for Schaefer. Checking in is Weber, the 3-1. That one, another backdoor pitch, finds the zone. And we will have a payoff delivery due up here from Weber to Schaefer. As Ohio is trying to keep this right where it's at, especially with Harlow on the mound for Marshall. That pitch just low below the knees to Schaefer. He will draw a full count walk, and the bases will be loaded for Gio Ferraro. For Marshall,
Gio Ferraro plus bases loaded could equal lots of runs scored.
that is definitely true there, Darius. Is so far in the ball game, Ferraro 2 for 4 with 2 strikeouts and try to make it a hat trick here, but instead it'll be lined right to Dolan. Throws it at second base, and that's a double play. Throws him. Carinci out there at second base. A massive double play there. Turned. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Bobcats looking to take any bit of momentum against Marshall. Bottom of the 8th inning. Bobcats still trail by 2 to Marshall. As the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9 will be due up here for Ohio. And 10 straight Bobcats have been sat down in order. Finney is going to try to break that streak here as Drew Harlow back on the mound for Marshall. His first pitch is low and away for a ball. So far, Harlow has faced 6 batters and has a total of 4 strikeouts, 3 of those being looking. That one's fouled almost off the knob there of Alex Finney, so it'll be strike number 1 to the Ohio backstop. Marshall, despite only being up by 2 runs, has out-hit the Bobcats 17-8 so far in this ballgame. Almost 9 more hits than Ohio has, yet they only lead by 2 runs. That pitch was in there for a strike, so now we'll have a 1-2 delivery due up here from Harlow. That one is hit into the night sky to right field, but Vogelsong will get up under it easily for out number 1, so make it 11 straight Bobcats sat down in a row. You have to date back all the way to Cole Williams in the 4th, or correction, all the way to Colin Kasperbauer in the 4th inning for a Bobcat to reach base safely. So it's been a minute. Harrison Johnson now comes to the plate with 1 down. Big swing and a miss to the first pitch in there for strike number 1. Harlow, deep breath once again. That one just on the inside in there for a strike, and he is quickly up in the count 0-2 once again, and it just seems like Harlow is almost untouchable.
Yeah, great recovery these last 2 pitches by Harlow.
The 0-2 on its way. Swing and a miss. Johnson set down on strikes. So that's the 5th strikeout in just 8 batters that Harlow has recorded. You can tell so coming into this ballgame, looking at his strikeout to walk ratio, as it was 32 strikeouts to only 10 walks, and add 5 more to that, so it just improves that ratio as it is. The first pitch, though, to the 9-hole, Nick Dolan is low and away for a ball.
You know that Jack Harlow song, First Class?
Yes.
Well, Drew Harlow is a first-class pitcher.
Yes, definitely there is. Ball is fouled on back up against the backstop there. But
it was a while. We didn't have a music pun in the call.
We haven't. We haven't had a music pun.
We had to get one now that we're in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, we're getting deeper and deeper into this ball game. The Bobcats Only have 4 outs to work with.
I don't know if we want to do too many music puns because then you don't want me to sing on.
Oh
on,
boy, we're gonna get
on a live
Darius
stream, singing and dancing
singing
here in
on
the
the
broadcast booth.
broadcast
I don't know
booth.
if we want that.
2-1 delivering on its way from Harlow. Swung on and just fair as finally the Bobcats will break the streak against Harlow, and it'll be Dolan down the left field line. Stand-up double. And that might be the spark that the Bobcats need as they've finally cracked the armor of Drew Harlow up there on the mound, and they'll turn it over to the top of the order. So a guy that you definitely want in this situation, A.J. Roush, he's hitless in this ball game, 0 for 3 so far, but has reached on a walk back in the 4th. And will look to do some damage here and get that 2-run lead at least down to 1 with a runner in scoring position being Dolan out there on second base. First time that Harlow has worked out of the stretch in this ball game. Takes his time, checks the runner. Slide step, and that one kicks off of the padding there of Noble. A wild pitch there. So advancing up to third base is Dolan on that wild pitch. And he is just 90 feet away from making this a 1-run ball game, but you got to flash back to that solo shot back in the 6th inning from Kyle Schaefer, the only offense we've seen in the back half of this ball game. Coming back to maybe bite the Bobcats at this point is Roush. Thought about pulling the trigger at that one, but it gets in there for a strike. Count evens up at 1s. Dolan 90 feet away from making this a 1-run ball game with 2 outs, 1-1 count here in the bottom of the 8th for A.J. Roush. That pitch just a bit low and out to Roush, who sees it right into the mitt of Noble. So all Roush needs to do is find a little bit of green grass out there. Can make this a 1-run ball game, especially with the heart of the Bobcat order and a man and Patino standing on the on-deck circle. Pitch from Harlow. That's in there on the outside part of the plate. Evens up the count at 2s. A massive at-bat here for A.J. Roush. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, runner on third base. Bobcats trailing by 2. The pitch from Harlow. Hit high into the night sky, down the right field line. Might be trouble into no man's land. Vogelsong comes on, and he will secure that one in foul territory for out number 3. So escaping the little bit of jam right there goes Harlow. Another scoreless inning. We'll head to the 9th. 8-6. Marshall still leads the Bobcats.
Not what I was expecting.
6, 7, 8. due up here for Marshall in the top of the 9th inning. As that'll be all for Zach Weber's day. Went 3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, that being earned a solo shot off the bat of Kyle Schaefer. In 38 pitches, besides that, Weber went pretty solid in this one out of the pen, get that ERA down. But coming out of the bullpen for the Bobcats, making his 10th appearance of the season, will be Dylan Masters, the sophomore transfer from Murray State out of New Albany, Ohio. And the first pitch he throws to Christian Lucio is in there for a strike. But as mentioned, Masters, 10th appearance on the season, a 1-0 win-loss record. That one does not find the zone for a ball. 12 innings pitched, he's given up 10 hits, 6 runs, 5 of those being earned as a swing and a miss there from Lucio. As well as 5 walks, 8 strikeouts, and a batting average against of .227 as the 1-2 pitch is low and away for a ball. As the count will now even up at 2s. Due up here for Lucio. Swing and a miss. And Masters will set him down on strike swinging for out number 1 here in the 9th.
Not a bad way to start.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, got that count to where he wanted to, set the man down, and now you got to deal with the 7-hole Chris Noble, switch hitting catcher. Come to the plate so far in this ball game. 1 for 3. As that one's squibbed, might be a dangerous play, but Kasperbauer fields it on the run. Easy throw for Colin Kasperbauer coming across there. That will be out number 2 quickly for the Thunder and Herd. As now it'll bring up the 8-hole KB Peralta. As Marshall trying to get their last ounce of support here. As that pitch is outside for a ball. It'll go there to Peralta as the Bobcats only have 3 outs to work for. Against Harlow, it's been difficult for them offensively as that pitch from Masters once again outside to Peralta. Peralta so far in the game 2 for 4 with 2 singles. Was caught stealing last time to the plate. As he reached first base on that single. Sees that one outside once again so quickly into a 3-0 count. So that pitch from Masters will find the zone to get me over fastball. That does get him over. Working quickly, Masters, 3-1. That ball is lifted high into the night sky, but out of play. So count will run full, and the Bobcats will try to work quickly here.
Hey, the Geese got another souvenir.
Yeah,
though.
that is true. Geese get another one there as that one worked toward the river here. But a full count, payoff pitch. That one caught the outside corner. Throw him a chair, sits him down. Bobcats will try to take some bit of momentum as 3 up, 3 down. Go the Herd. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Bobcats still trailing by 2. Bottom of the ninth, Bobcats trail by 2. Down to 3 more outs and on for the save for Marshall. Number 6, Eddie Leon, the sophomore two-way guy, righty, and 6 foot 1 inch tall, 190 pounds, out of Miami, Florida. So far on the season for Leon, this is his 8th appearance, as he will have 2, 3, 4 due up for the Bobcats. The first one to work into the box will be Alec Patino, and the first one he sees is outside for a ball. But as mentioned for Leon, 8th appearance, 8.68 ERA. That one is fouled up and out of play from Patino. Some more stats for Leon. In 9 1/3 innings pitched, he's given up 13 hits, 9 runs, all of those being earned, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, and has a batting average against of .351. Patino in on the hands, chops that one over to Currency, who takes it himself. He's been busy over there at first base today and has done well defensively for Marshall.
Yeah, it's been a rough second stretch of this game for Patino after getting 2 hits early on, put the Bobcats right back in this one. He's been cold. So
you can see they're up on the mound. Eddie Leon doing a little bit of shuffle. He is ready to roll and get this save. 2 outs away from Marshall to take the victory tonight. As now Minzy will work into the box. He swings and misses the first pitch that he will see. Leon once again working quickly with the rock back and forth. Minzy settles back into the box. The 0-1. Almost caught the back foot of Minzy as he duck out of way of danger there, but does so successfully. Drew Harlow finishes the day with 3 innings pitched, a hit, only 1 hit allowed, 5 strikeouts, and 41 pitches. He gets a hold in this ballgame if the result stays the way it is another swing and a miss from Minzy. As Leon out there confident up on the mound for the Herd. That one's chopped over once again to first base. Taking it himself will be Currency. 2 up, 2 down, both retired by Currency, and the Bobcats are now down to their final out in this ballgame. And Will Sturrick, who already has a home run in this one, will try to do a job and extend this ballgame. Leon trying to slam the door in the Bobcats' face and get himself a save. First pitch of Sturrick, runs right inside and hits him.
yeah, it looked like he got him on the arm there.
And Sturrick trying to get out of the way of danger there, but he'll take his free 90, and now the Bobcats are only 1 swing away from tying this one, as Colin Kasperbauer will come to the plate. Currently 0 for 2 on the day with 2 walks and 2 ground outs to the first baseman, Currency. As it would stand right now, Ajmi would get the win for Marshall. And the loss would go to Colin Sells. Let's not get ahead of ourselves just too quickly, though, as we still have 1 out remaining. As Kasperbauer saw the first pitch outside for ball number 1. Leon working out of the stretch now. Pitch to Kasperbauer outside once again. Bobcat faithful starting to get a little chirpy now. Starting to maybe feel some momentum in this situation. 2-0 the count. The pitch to Kasperbauer. That one swung on, fouled right back into the net. As mentioned, Kasperbauer hitless in this ball game, but could do justice and erase all that with a base hit right here that could possibly put himself, the tying run, in scoring position. The 2-1 pitch. That one's outside once again. So Leon struggling now to find the zone. 3-1 here. You've got to be selective up there if you are Colin Kasperbauer. 2 down. 3-1 pitch. That one's low and in. Kasperbauer draws a walk. This one is not over, folks. Eddie Leon has made it interesting as Marshall's going to have a meeting with the infield up on the mound there to try to settle down their man, Eddie Leon, the two-way guy who got 2 quick and easy outs and has now worked himself into a hole as the game-winning run will step to the plate here in the form of Cole Williams, who is currently 0 for 4 on the day, but as mentioned, can erase all that right here. With a base hit for the Bobcats, you'd like to think that extra bases. Casper Bauer, a little bit of fleet of foot over there at first base, could possibly tie this game up. 2 down, bottom of the ninth, runner on first and second. Marshall leading Ohio. The first pitch, that one is in there for a strike to Williams as Leon settled right down in and is trying to get the save and close the door on the Bobcats in what has been a very pitcher's duel second half of this ball game. The 0-1, that one is hit down the left field line, will find a home out of play, so the Bobcats now down to their final strike tonight for Cole Williams, trying to keep this game alive. Leon gets the signs from Noble. Comes set of the belt. The 0-2. Fouled back and out of play once again. Staying alive inside the box will be Williams. Runners on first and second for the Bobcats. 8-6 the score. Casper Bauer on first. Sturrock out on second. Leon gets the signs from Noble. Williams at the dish. Checks the runner. The 0-2 once again. That one's chopped into play. It'll be a tough play for Lucio. Comes on, throws it to first base. It will be in time after a almost rushed throw there, but a great stretch by Carinci will get the job done for the Thunder and Herd. But the Bobcats definitely made it interesting down the stretch of that one. Final tonight, though, 8-6. Marshall will take the victory over the Ohio Bobcats. Marshall will improve to 14-16 on the season, while Ohio will fall to 13-16 on the season. The winning pitcher for Marshall today will be the first man out of the bullpen for them, as it will be number 15, Cole Ajmi will get the win tonight for Marshall. The hold will go to Drew Harlow, and the save will go to Mr. Eddie Leon, who finished with 1 inning pitched, gave up 1 walk, hit 1 batter, and a total of 17 pitches. Got the job done, slammed the door in the face of the Bobcats, and Marshall will go back to Huntington with the W over their rival. And the loss tonight will go to Colin Sells for the Bobcats, who gave up those 7 runs back in the second inning of play. Final tonight, 8-6, the score. The Bobcats trying to make it a little bit interesting there late, Darius, but you know, there's some learning moments you can take and move into your series. It's not a conference game. What really matters, you're doing well in conference. You want to ride some momentum, especially when you've got your rivals coming to town this weekend and the Miami Redhawks.
Yeah, that's the beauty of these non-conference games. Just make those mistakes and you learn on it from next time.
That is true. So that'll be all here tonight. Bobcats will be back in action against Miami on Friday, so make sure to tune into that one, a 3-game series. But for Darius Seth, I'm Cade Williamson, wishing you all a wonderful evening.